into the CHGO Bears post-game show presented by Prize Picks. Daily fantasy sports made easy. Use promo code CHGO for first deposit match up to $100. Bears get the win, boys. They are now 6-9 on the season. Nice record for the Bears. How are we feeling? We good? Greg?
I mean, it's like another one of those games. It's almost like the Panthers game where it's like we win, but did it feel like a win?
Did you want them to win?
I don't, like I said, I'm indifferent about it. I mean, I'd much rather they won the way they started the game than win the way they finished it, right? You know, if you're going to win and blow the doors off this team like you should, then I'll take that, you know, because it shows where this team is going, and I'm excited about the future of this team. But then to watch them just hit a complete wall before the end of the first half and not have many answers in the second half, let Arizona creep back into it. It's just frustrating if you're a Bears fan. And I get a lot of fans like, just enjoy the win and shut up. Like, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like my standards are a little higher than that. Yeah, I can, you know, chalk it up. Might finish with 7 or 8 wins, depending on how this season plays out. But again, it just feels, again, like somewhat like the Panthers game where you're like, okay, they won, but that wasn't that pretty.
I was so close to having my prediction 31-13. I was so close to Roshan Johnson was great, but my guy Khalil Herbert stepped up and paid me off in the first half. I was super excited about it. And I still think like the score is not emblematic of exactly the Bears dominated that football game. I don't care if you know, Justin threw a late pick, which wasn't great, but it wasn't. I'm not freaking out about it. They were clearly the better team on the day. Luke Getsy had his moment on 3rd and 1, which was bizarre. Luke Getsy and Justin Fields had their moment. That was good to see Justin lose his mind for a second. You know, it wasn't perfect, but I think it's very obvious. Obviously, the Cardinals aren't a great football team, but the Bears were the better team. They were the better team all day long. And yes, it could have looked prettier in the end, but again, you do see a team that is getting better. I don't think there's any argument to be made that they're not.
27-16, the final score. The Cardinals now 3-12, still sitting in position for a top 3 draft pick. And again, the Bears now 6-9. We'll start by handing out our game balls for this one, and I will start. I'm going to go with a guy who didn't even play in the second half, and I'm a little worried about that. Our guy here at CHGO, Cole Kmet. But I thought from the very first time he got his hands on the football in this game, you could tell he was grinding, that he wasn't feeling 100%. We knew he came into this game not 100%. He was on the injury report this week, and then he had 4 catches, and each catch, it was like another hit to the body, and he was slow to get up. And I just love how he doesn't miss a play despite all that. And all of a sudden you look at the stat sheet, and he's got 4 catches for 107 yards, just like that. I mean, he has turned into a very tough, big play tight end here. And then, unfortunately, all of a sudden you notice on those last 2 drives of the first half, he's actually not in there, which is very, very rare for him. That was the first thing that had me worried, because just him not being on the field is worrisome when you know he's going to play through pretty much everything. And then we find out, I think either going into the half or during halftime, that he's questionable with a knee. And then right when halftime ends, they quickly say he's doubtful, which usually means the test didn't go all that well. So, look, we don't have any answers there. Maybe Matt Eberflus will give us a clue here in his post-game press conference. But a game ball to Cole Kmet for playing through those injuries. They really needed him. And then you saw in the second half how much they missed him when they didn't have him.
Cole Kmet was phenomenal. Cole Kmet being hurt sucks, and that's anybody getting hurt at this time of the year when you're, you know, playing for peanuts and your chances to go into the playoffs are next to nothing. It adds on to the pain of it. But you know, I just give that guy so much props, not only, you know, for dealing with Greg Braggs every week on this show and becoming best friends with everybody here, but also just such a grinder, complete gamer, phenomenal teammate. He was great today. and it had to kill him to not be able to go out there. This guy plays through literally everything. So it is concerning, and it makes me wonder if we've seen the last of Cole for the year. I hope that's not the case, obviously. But my game ball goes to Khalil Herbert. Second time over 100 yards this season. He did it against Denver in one of the most nauseating losses of the year that started the nauseating loss train. But today he did it in the Bears' 6th win of the year. 20 carries, which is the most that he's had all season long, 112 yards. Nearly 6 yards a carry. So, look, been biding his time and trying to come back, and Deontay Foreman was playing great. But Khalil, from the first time he touched it today all the way through, was just super solid. It was good to see him back being himself.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a $20 super chat from Zaven, 1985 born fan from Slovakia. Appreciate you tuning in. I don't think that's $20. It's whatever Slovakian dollars that is.
I think it's euros.
Okay, I'll trust you on that. Yes, I picked this team. You guys are doing a fantastic job. CHGO has made this season so much better. All I want for Christmas is a first overall pick and a win over the Packers in Week 18. Yeah, so if you're rooting for that, then you need the Patriots to beat the Broncos here tonight. And then the Bears can do whatever they want the final week of the season, and we can enjoy a Bears win over the Packers. My game ball goes to DJ Moore, because I think another aspect of this game that's starting to stand out, like you guys mentioned, Cole Kmet playing through some injuries. DJ Moore has been playing through injuries here the last couple weeks as well. Braxton Jones gets rolled up on at the end of the game. You know, this is where we're going to have to start holding our breath here at the end of the season. I'm not really sure where our playoff odds are, you know, if we win out at this point, with however the week has the rest of the league is broke down this week. But you know, you want these players to be healthy going into the offseason, and we don't know the severity of Cole Kmet's injury yet, but DJ Moore playing through tough injuries. You know, you saw him there at the end of the game. He could have, you know, to start that game, he could have hung him up and said, I'm not playing the rest of the game, but he's not doing that. And to me, he is one of the top leaders on this team. And to show that kind of resiliency, that kind of toughness, is a message to the rest of the locker room that we're not going to let go of the rope. They lost to Cleveland last week. There was a very disappointing game for all of us, but no more disappointing than the players in that locker room. And you could have felt that here today. And instead, they came out the gate smoking 21-0. DJ Moore's playing through injuries. They're playing with some toughness. They finished the game. They ended up winning it. So my game ball goes to DJ Moore for playing through some injuries the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Moore had that tough first down there at the end too, to move the sticks and help run out the clock. That was big at that field goal to ice it.
It's a tough argument to make, but I just want to make the point here. Look, the Bears were 5-9 when DJ Moore got hurt, and now they're 6-9. This is your best player, and I understand that the coaching staff is fighting for their position in the NFL, and guys have just pride of winning, period. And you're not mathematically eliminated. I get all of that. But there has to be, on some level, and maybe he was fine. I wasn't there. I'm not the trainer. But that is one of your most important players going forward. You are trying to ultimately get to a point where you win a Super Bowl. So if they did put him in harm's way, I would have a problem with it. Even though it was nice to win the game today.
He's got a slightly sprained ankle.
Okay. But if that's it, I'm fine. Yeah. If that's it, I'm fine. I'm totally fine if that's it. But like, don't rush Cole Kmet back on the field next week. We don't need you are building something to try to win down the line. I think they need to have a little bit of that perspective right now.
All right, real quick, we got a super chat from Duke we got to get to here. I also want to please encourage people to hit that like button. Please hit subscribe. How about a Christmas gift for us here, please, and to whoever receives it on the other end? Please take the link here and send it off to a Bears fan that you know and love, and just let them know about our show, about what's going on right now, even if they don't watch right now because it's Christmas Eve. Just send them their way, and it'll be a gift both for us and for them. So, and
don't tell them about Carm.
Yeah, we know they can discover Carm on his own. By the way, Carm, do you like that 39-year-old kicker making a 55-yard field goal in that game? Just wanted to throw that out there. Nice callback to the pregame show. By the way, I also. And we are going to get to Duke here, I promise. But also, if speaking of gifts, I have the best gift for you because it's $6.39 on Christmas Eve. Like, if you still need to buy somebody a present, like you're screwed. Let's just be honest. But you're not screwed, because if you go to allchgo.com/diehard, you can gift a CHGO diehard membership, and you can do it right now because it'll be, later you can still get the box that comes with all the cool stuff, but it'll still be active immediately. You can print out the membership and give it to somebody by tomorrow morning. Just saying, it's there for you. Allchgo.com. Sure. It's great last second. Probably the best Christmas gift that you could get right now this late on Christmas Eve. So just throwing that out there. And we do appreciate all you Bears fans that are here with us tonight on Christmas Eve. The show will be a little bit shorter than normal, but we're still going to break everything down as we always do. Let's bring up that super chat from our guy, the Duke, who's always grinding with us. By the way, my dad informed me during this football game day that as he was driving up to Minnesota yesterday, he saw a car with the license plates, the Duke. So we might have had a Duke sighting yesterday. Okay. I'm just saying, it's possible somewhere on I-94.
You should have ran him off the road and found out if it was him.
I wasn't in the car, and I think my dad has too much respect for the Duke to do that. $50 super chat here. Braggs, please tell me how I feel. Quote, I am so
happy.
This is a
meaningless.
The options are good or bad.
We're playing Mad Libs here with the Duke. Justin is
probably not
our future at quarterback.
You're gonna get me buried.
We learned
not well. We learned
very little.
We learned a lot.
We did.
Okay.
We'll get into some of it. We'll get into some of it.
Okay. And then finally,
happy holidays. I'm corporate now, so I got to be PR.
Oh, come on. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's Christmas. It is literally Christmas Eve. You can say Merry Christmas. By the way, Duke, I love that. I think we just had a new segment that just got born there.
That was terrifying.
Let's do that all the time with those super chats. That was fantastic. For those of you listening to the podcast later,
can we bring up one?
Basically left blanks. That
can we bring up one more super chat, please, from Buck? Just because it has to do with game balls, and I wanted to ask you, Hoge. He says, "When y'all finally going to give Justin his due? 97 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He won it without Kmet and DJ Moore. He gets the game ball. Come on already." Would you give him the game ball, Adam?
I would have seriously considered it until that fourth quarter interception where he had DJ Moore open on the post. I think he had Khalil Herbert open too, and he just underthrew the ball, and that led to points off turnovers. And all of a sudden, it's a one-possession game just like that. He has 6 interceptions in the fourth quarter. Like today was the Justin Fields experience. Once again, like how many weeks have we gone over this? We know who Justin Fields is at this point, and that's okay. You can win a lot of games with him. If you get more help around him, you can probably go into the playoffs and win playoff games, in my opinion. But you're going to have to live with the bad at the same time. And once again, it's a fourth quarter interception and in this case, it's a huge swing because it should have been a touchdown pass. You can't. Carm, I have to completely disagree with what you said off the top. That was an enormous interception for Justin Fields, in my opinion. You can't just shrug it off like it's not that big of a deal. That was a touchdown that turned into an interception in a game where right before that, the announcers are literally talking about how it might have been his best game of the season, which I disagree with. I think Washington was better, but it was still a good game up until that point. Unfortunately, the moment you're all cringing that you don't want to happen happened, and this is the stuff that Ryan Poles in this front office, you want to see finish? The offense has to finish too. You can't throw an interception there. It just can't happen.
Well, because that's what I mean. When Carm, you were like kind of giving me a side eye when I said I think we learned a lot. And in this game, I think we did in that regard, because this is what Ryan Poles has said. This team needs to show consistency. This quarterback needs to show consistency. The coaching staff needs to show consistency. They have to learn how to finish games. This game showed both of those are lacking in those areas. And if we're going to just focus on the evaluation of these guys to end the year, when you come out the gates 21-0, you got to finish the job. You got to step on their throats, and you can start to try to place blame. And we can talk about Justin Fields and Luke Getsy giving each other the look in the second half, where frustration's starting to boil over a little bit for Justin. And then Luke's kind of looking at him, laughing at each other. You can try to play the psychology game with what that interaction was. But I did think it kind of peeled behind the curtain about these guys are kind of had enough of each other. And at the end of the day, Ryan Poles is watching all of this. And I don't think even in a win that this was a good mark for anyone in this game.
Well, okay. I'll go back to what Hoge said that I agree with, which is what I've been saying all along. I thought Hoge just left out that part, like Carman's been telling us, which is what he should have said. We know who Justin Fields is. We've known it. We don't. It's on tape. We've seen it. He was it again today. Phenomenal on the ground. Made some unbelievable plays. The touchdown pass to Mercedes Lewis. He doesn't do that if he wasn't, supremely skilled, and that's just the easy flip because he causes so much havoc for the defense. We saw all of it. So, sure, the interception wasn't great, but he had such a good day that I'm not going to take away his performance on that one play where, and I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but he's exhausted. They're up 2 touchdowns. The game, it made the game a lot more interesting, but I wasn't sweating that they were going to lose. By the way, Jonathan Gannon, what are you doing? Kick the extra point. Going for 2 is ridiculous, but yes, Ho, go ahead.
I'm glad you just brought that up, though. The fatigue. I actually do. Can't make it shouldn't be an excuse. It's not a good excuse, but I do actually think that he was so tired there. Wasn't that the same drive where they had to call timeout too? And then he had another run after that. I definitely think that contributed to the interception. Still can't happen, but it is fair to point that out because I have to imagine that everything was going so well right there, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what was that? So I think that's fair.
Yeah, and look, it was odd to me because it wasn't just that he was tired all day today. He looked exhausted at numerous points. So, and yes, he was asked to do a ton. He's scrambling around 16 yards sideways this way, that way, gaining 1 yard, literally, trying to put the offense on his back. But just to wrap it all up, this is who he is, and this is fine if you have a good enough team around him and you think you can win with it. I don't think there's any epiphanies coming, and we don't know what they're thinking. So I thought Justin, I thought he was going to throw for 300 yards today. It didn't happen. I thought they were going to blow him out. Didn't happen, but they were the better team. Fields had a good day. It could have been a little bit better. And the Bears defense was solid. I thought, the game, bringing up other people's game balls, somebody put in the chat, Kyler Gordon. The secondary today, they were phenomenal. Everybody's hitting. Jaquan Brisker's coming up and making hits. Kyler Gordon's in the backfield. He's the most physical guy, and he's the shortest dude and the skinniest guy in there. It's just impressive. Tyreek Stevenson had a big hit. I loved what I saw from the secondary today.
100%. This defense is cooking. It's exciting to see. I love what we're seeing from Kyler Gordon. If Jaquan Brisker can just keep out of harm's way, and I don't think that's possible, they've got something going. Tyreek Stevenson almost gets the game-sealing interception at the end of the game. Love the way TJ Edwards flies around the football. I didn't see too much from Javon Dexter, I felt like, today. I don't know how you guys felt, but I didn't see his name flash as much as I want here at the end of the year. But Montez Sweat, my gosh, what a great pickup that has been here for the Bears. Continues to look like it's going to pay off big dividends.
And I agree with everything you guys just said. I just do want to point out, though, that they did give up that touchdown too after the interception. It was starting to head down the road of here we go again. And if they're not playing the Cardinals, do they hang on? I think that's a fair question. And by the way, thank you, Jonathan Gannon, for one of the greatest tank moves of the season, going for it on that 4th down.
That's a great angle. Was he tanking? Was that a tank move?
Oh, maybe 100%. That was it. Not only the decision to go for it, but your play call is just throw a bomb down the right sideline. You're praying for, so you go for it, and then you have a low percentage throw downfield to when they don't really have any downfield weapons. And Like, I think the only thing you're praying for there is a DPI. Like, seriously, that was your play call. What you have 3 timeouts. There's 3 minutes left. You had to be taking there.
Think about what you're saying, and it might even be true that the coach literally tried to lose the game, not just not playing people, but calling terrible plays to try and lose. If that's accurate, if that actually happened and
that
it came out,
stunning that he went for that there. If 4th and 6 backed up, like that is not
with timeouts.
With 3 timeouts. I mean, the most aggressive 4th down analytic guy is not going for it there.
Well, and that's
especially when Justin just threw an interception on the last series, right? Well, I guess it would have been 2 before that. Whatever. Yes, like I that was crazy to me. That was how else do you explain it?
Yeah, I mean, you're just trying to hope you grab some momentum there. You know, the clock's not in your favor at that point. You know, it's a manageable, down in distance to try to get the first down. But yeah, I mean, you're basically saying this is it. This is the game right here. I don't hate the aggressiveness. I mean, the Bears are kind of holding on for dear life there to make sure they seal the win. My thing is,
you got to have a better play call then.
Yeah, right. And, the few times that the Bears were blitzing the house there in the second half, they had our number where they were kind of, holding up the blitz and finding those open guys across the middle. They didn't find that there on that 4th down. My bigger thing is, and when you talk about analytics, Hoge, when they get the touchdown and then they go for 2, I don't care how much you explain it to me, how much analytics tell me that that's the right move to make. Caveman Greg will never sign off on when you're down 14 and you get that first touchdown to go for 2. I will never agree to this. It to me is stupid. It makes no sense. And I don't care what math says about it. I'm not going to listen to the math. It is a stupid thing. I would kick the field goal every time, twice on Sunday. You want to go for 2 on the second touchdown to win it and be done with the game? Fine. But that first one, you're just putting the whole game right there on the microscope, right there on that play when there's still a whole nother touchdown to be had. So I just don't agree with that. Analytics has driven coaches to this point, and I was kind of laughing when that happened.
I'm just going to simplify it as easy as possible. I'm not going to get into the craziness of it. But if the Cardinals, let's say they kicked it there, and then they came down and they scored again, so they're down 1 right at the end of the game, what would you have said about them going for 2 in that moment? I'm just curious. There's no right or wrong answer. If they went, if they went for 2 for the win there,
yes. If you get the second touchdown and you have the choice of either tying the game or going for the win, I don't have an issue at that point making that decision to be aggressive. I do on the first touchdown.
So the reasoning for doing it on the first one is because it's not a do or die situation then. If you're going to do it at the end of the game, you might as well do it earlier because the game's not over if you miss it. If you wait till the end and you miss it, the game's over. So it's not even so much analytics as it's just logic. Why would I wait to the end in a situation where it's do or die and I lose, where if I just do it now, it's still a 1-possession game and I can still go for 2 again to save myself. That's the reasoning behind it.
You backed yourself in a corner, Gregory. Now what are you going to do?
Because to me, you're still trying to grab momentum from the Bears. And now you don't get the 2-point conversion and you're giving a little bit of that momentum back. If you then score 2 touchdowns, now you've got the Bears on the ropes. They're panicking. You think you've got them in a weak spot. They're tired, fatigued. You want to go for 2 to win it. That's a different story. And I can understand that kind of aggressiveness, but you got to get to that point to earn that play call. I'll never agree with it on the first touchdown ever.
Okay.
It's a good recovery. Good job.
If you want to play the momentum game, that's fine. I think that's
fatigue too.
Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think momentum can change on any given snap with any type of big play, but I do think that definitely part of coaching is having a feel for how games are going. And if you want to make an argument that the Bears got some of the momentum back there by the Cardinals not getting the 2-point conversion, I think there's at least a small argument to make there that you're probably right. All right.
I'm always right.
Braggs is always right.
That's right.
I mean, we should just start, if we're talking about things that are right, if we could just start listing everything that I've said this year. I mean, we don't have enough time in the show, so we might as well just wait for another day.
Yeah.
Keep going, Hoge.
I think Cairo Santos just got another year older. Hey, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. Go check it out. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. With basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League. This is actually pretty cool. A league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. So, for example, you can combine DeMar DeRozan with DJ Moore. So you can have the number be a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made and receptions. So 3-pointers made for DeMar DeRozan, receptions for DJ Moore. If it goes over 10.5, you win. It's a pretty fun way to get this done. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy for injuries. So you got somebody in the first half, gets hurt, doesn't play in the second half, could apply to Cole Kmet today. Although Cole Kmet probably hit all the overs in the first half if you played him. But it probably would apply to Cole Kmet today, where if he doesn't play the whole second half, you have the injury insurance policy there, and they cancel it out, rebooted, you're all good. And they are the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. One of the many reasons why Prize Picks is the way to go. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
That's right. And I want to give a shout out to our guys over at Varsity Coolers. Need the perfect bag for game day? Varsity Coolers will have you set game day and beyond with the best portable cooler and weekender duffel bag around. Very unique kind of design these bags are. They're not just your average bag. As you can see here on the screen, they've got the team colors, the vintage Bears stripes on the sides. If you open it up, it's got the hot dogs and the pizza as the inside lining, double lining. Keep your ice and your beer, whatever beverage you have in your cooler cold. So, you can take it golfing, you can take it to the tailgate, you can take it to the beach. But like I said, it could be a gym bag, could be something for a weekend bag, if you're, hanging out with your family for Christmas out in Wisconsin or wherever you're at. It's got a map at the bottom of the Chicago map on the bottom of the cooler. So it's got some really cool features to it, that give the vibe of the city. So it's the perfect Christmas gift, Hanukkah holiday gift for your family, any football fan in your life. 21 different teams represented, so it doesn't just have to be a Bears fan. Got some different teams to choose from if you want to hook your family or friend up with a really cool gift. So they can show up in style to a party or repping around town. Head over to varsitycoolers.us and use the code CHGO at checkout for 10% off your order. Check out Varsity Coolers today.
By the way, shout out to our friend Chris Emma, who is now 10-5 on the season picking games.
It's impressive.
And had the exact score: Bears 27, Cardinals 16. So take that, Brags.
I had 28-17, so close. When it was 21-0, I thought it was going to not be anywhere close. And then somehow water found its level there halfway through the game, which definitely surprised me because it seemed like Arizona just did not have the energy to play in that game. And then all of a sudden it became one at the end.
Not to quibble with the brilliance on the show, but if Justin doesn't throw the pick, I'm right there. I'm at 31. I am the winner, and I'm irritated that it didn't happen, but that's okay.
But that's on you. You got to factor in the second half turnover. You should have known better.
Yep, you didn't factor.
Could have been better. But there are 2 people on the show that predicted a blowout, and somebody said close game. So if you'd just like to, raise your hand and say I was wrong, as the mansion, as our leader, Hoge did not see the future the way Braggs and Carm did today. Now is your opportunity.
What is your definition of blowout? This was a one-possession game until Cairo Santos kicked a field goal in the 32nd.
The Cardinals, it was a one-possession game. It was a one-possession game for 1 second.
I know.
It was 20. The thing was over.
That's what I'm saying. He started the show saying this game wasn't in doubt. The Bears dominated it.
I didn't say that.
Quarter, Carm said that to start the game, to start the show, and I'm like, what? Like,
did you ever think the Bears were losing tonight? Seriously, I didn't.
Well, no, I don't think that. I didn't think they were losing last week either. So don't talk to me when it comes to that.
Don't deny that they were going down the road of once again a fourth quarter collapse.
Listen, you guys, you need to get in calm, peaceful yoga, Midtown something. I was not worried at all today. They were the better team. It was I did not sweat it, and I had Braggs is sitting there in the chat in our private chat during the game like, this would be so awesome. We were in this and we were jumping up and down. I'm like, right. I mean, I'm just sitting here completely calm. I'm not going nuts when we're scoring. I'm not going nuts when something bad's happening, because it's just we're in, just watching the last 3 games of the season mode right now, which is unfortunate, but that's what it is.
Well, that's absolutely what it was. It was so disappointing that this wasn't a game where we could be going crazy and staying in playoff hopes. And it was just that's the part of me. Every time they win a game, I always am going back to the games they blew and just thinking about what a missed opportunity it is. And then it just becomes a debate of, well, what was your expectations going into the year? And I just think that kind of throws it out the window when you talk about having 3 different games where you had a 99% chance of winning. And had they just won 1 or 2 of them, not even asking for all 3, we'd be right in the thick of a playoff hunt. I'm not asking to win a Super Bowl this year, but to, be slightly more competitive, to stay in the race the last couple of weeks of the season. Yeah, they blew it. And Kmet talked to us on Tuesday and said, if they win a couple games here to end the year, it's not good enough. And so your standard, if someone out there as a fan is like, well, hey, they won and I'm just happy. All right, that's your standard. But I think there's players on this team and there's other fans out there that have a little higher standard for what this team is capable of and what they'd be happy with.
Yeah, and I think that's always important to remember is, what the expectations really should be. And, okay, on the playoff talk, they are now 2 games back of both the Rams and the Seahawks, who currently hold the 6 and 7 spots in the playoffs in the NFC. So 2 games back with 2 games to go and 4 other teams in between them who are sitting at 7 and 8. And the Giants could theoretically join them tomorrow, tied with the Bears with a 6 and 9 record, although they're playing the Eagles. So you'd think the Eagles would win, but the Eagles have been struggling. Regardless, the point is 2 games back, 2 games to go, 4 other teams in the way. It's over, man. Like technically they're alive going into another week. I love that. I hope they're still alive going into week 18 just to make that Packers game slightly spicier. But the math is just way against the Bears now at this point.
Look, they should still be in it, and technically they are in it, but we all know they're not in it, and it sucks. The team, but I'll go big picture view just for a second on it, because yeah, it'd be sweet to get in this year, but the chance that if they had gotten in, that they were going to win a game or even make a run, they're not ready to do that yet. So the fact of the matter is that the team is moving in the right direction. The fact of the matter is that the Carolina Panthers are sitting there with the #1 overall pick. The fact of the matter is that Ryan Poles has some huge decisions to make, but he's got a much, much, much wider base with which to make them from. So I think as a Bears fan right now, you can, for the first time in a long time, be optimistic that things are headed in the right direction. I mean, that's not really throwing any flowers here. I just think I would say it's a fact. So
it's 100% fair. How many of these wins have we been overly impressed with as far as the opponent? We could pick through that all we want, and I'm sure we will at some point, but at the end of the day, wins are wins. If they finish with 7 or 8, that's definitely a big improvement from last year. So I'll take that, but I agree with you that this team, and the roster is headed in the right direction. We all understand the big decisions they have to make here in the offseason.
Hoge, I want you to lead us to the promised land here and talk about the moment with Getsy and Fields and what, if anything, that means. Because I'm curious, because I know you had a huge reaction to it.
Well, I didn't necessarily have a huge reaction. There's two things that really stood out to me about Fields. What's the right word? I don't want to say body language. It's not really body language. Just I thought he was calculated. I thought beyond just that moment, there's another part I want to talk about too, where I thought he was calculated. But yeah, so they caught him on camera. I think most people watching the game saw it. If you missed it, essentially the Bears had they just completed a long catch. I think there was the throw to Tanyan, and then I want to say they ran the ball on first down for a couple yards, and then it seemed like Fields wanted to keep going, or he wanted the play call faster, or he hated the play, and he was like, "No, I want to do this." I mean, it really could be any of those things. I obviously, guessing off TV, have no idea, but he was unhappy about something in the moment. Now, a couple different angles to this, because Getsy, they pan to Getsy, and he's almost like smiling, like laughing it off or something.
I did not like that look at all.
I'll say one thing. First of all, I just love seeing that fire from Justin. Like, regardless, like, we just don't see that a lot. Usually it takes him like on a long run and just signaling first down or scoring a touchdown. But like, and it's probably one of his strengths, actually, that he's able to stay so steady, within a drive. But it is nice to just sort of see that I'm in control, I'm in charge here, sort of feeling that confidence to be able to get pissed off about whatever it was in the moment. So I didn't hate seeing it by any means. What it means big picture, him and Getsy, him and the Bears. I mean, I think we're definitely going through a lot of speculation there if we go down that road. But the other thing I wanted to bring up from this game that I thought really stood out from start to finish, he was extremely calculated with not taking hits today, sliding in moments or going out of bounds in moments where I actually thought he could have still scored even on maybe one or two of those. And I'm not bringing that up at all as a criticism. I think that's definitely a smart long-term play for him. And if he's going to remain the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, if they make that decision, the most important thing, I don't know if it's the most important thing, but one of the most important things going forward is they have to make sure he maintains that rushing ability. If they go down the road of signing him long-term, if that ever happens, or whichever team he signs with long-term, that's got to be a huge emphasis. And so I actually liked seeing that for the most part. But it also kind of just, on the heels of that interview he did with Caitlin Sharkey, it just seemed like very calculated. Like, I'm going to get what I need to get done here in these final few games, but also make sure I stay healthy for my future. And I don't blame him at all if that's what's going through his head right now. Good for him.
Well, I mean, the right before the interception, he probably could have housed that, or we've seen him house plays like that in similar fashion. He would have had to probably break a couple tackles, but that definitely felt like a business decision. And then he's showing a little bit of swagger. So to the point of showing a little bit of fire towards Getsy, this is something I expected coming off the WGN interview, was that he was going to finish this season with a chip on his shoulder. Not that he already wasn't, but you could just feel that from his understanding of the decision to come and what his future may or may not be. I'm sure he hears it from his family or friends or anybody else. There's no way of avoiding what every Bears fan is talking about ad nauseum here the last few months. And now we're 2 weeks away from this decision becoming a reality as far as, what they're going to do and how tough of a decision it is for Poles. So yeah, seeing him show a little bit of fire, I think was his, first step of the next couple games of, I'm going to show all you guys what I am, and whatever the decision is, I'll let the chips fall where they may.
I just have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that he's making business decisions. I mean, if we're talking about the interview with WGN, I mean, he's talking about how he's not worried about the playoffs or anything, and motivation for him is playing for his brothers, playing for his guys. So to me, it was more about just a smart football player. A lot of his times that he went down today, I thought it was phenomenal where he slid to keep himself in bounds in the second half, so the clock kept going. There was some, just intelligent. Where am I in the field? How much more can I get? Okay, this is enough. I'm going to get down right now. We've got a first down, and I'm going to keep the clock moving. But to what you're saying, Hoge, like, there is a whole nother side of this. Like, it's the end of if you're thinking about logically, it's the end of the year. I got a lot in front of me. The last thing I need right now after missing 4 games this season is to get another ding on my shoulder and, and have to deal with that in the offseason.
Clear real quick. I want him to play like that all the time.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Like I'm not, this is not at all a criticism at all. I mean, this is like, no, this is, if you're going to be running around, 10 times a game and getting 100 yards rushing, like, I want him to err on the side of protect my body instead of, could he have slipped that tackle and gone for a touchdown? Yeah, maybe, or he could have gotten tackled and hurt his shoulder again. You know what I mean? So that longevity is extremely important for him and for the team he's playing for. So to me, it's a win-win for both sides. I just felt like today it felt more calculated than in past games.
Maybe it was. The Getsy thing.
The Getsy thing, I hope what he yelled to the sideline was, "Tell Mike Martz I said F you." That's what I hope. That's what I hope it was.
I thought I was hoping it was something more along the line. Will you get the effing play in here? What the hell are you like? And I mean, Luke, he was on his heels on that one, and I would have loved to have seen him firing back, but he wasn't. Like, I think he just was like, "Whoa, it's this." Like, he's just sitting calm all there. I'm Luke Getsy, and I'm about to dial up my Wildcat Roshan Johnson on 3rd and 1 with the game on the line play that everyone's going to freak out about, and it's not going to work. That was, you underline it one more time. It was good to see that much emotion coming out of Justin because he is so even keeled. I was glad to see that part come out.
Well, and I do think it's fair to wonder if it's some frustration.
It should be.
That's been boiling up. So, definitely an interesting moment in the game.
One mea culpa for me that I would like to apologize to you, Adam, to you, boy. Greg, to you, Joey, and to more importantly to everybody who listens and watches this show. I have believed, for whatever reason, that Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields were somehow, some way going to refine their connection, and that Darnell Mooney was going to pay off because his prop bet numbers are so damn low that today I took the biggest number I could possibly get because he just had to have a huge game against the Arizona Cardinals. And I will never tell you to bet on Darnell Mooney again, ever in a Bears uniform until I see massive evidence. I've been leaning on hope and his 1,000-yard season that came 2 years ago, and it is just flat out moronic. I should have done what my first thought was to literally bet every Herbert prop. You could have got him for 25 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards, 70, all the way on up, and you would have had a hell of a day today. But I only bet one of them, which now people are, by the way, are yelling at me on Twitter. You only bet $10, Carm? What are you going to spend it all in one place? Hey, he who gambles big with that doesn't have the money lives in shambles. I'm doing respective gambling to my wallet. Do not shame me on my $10 bets. But I should have bet more on what was more logical today. I don't know what's going on, and forget the betting. The Darnell Mooney thing is super disappointing because they had a great thing going and it's just gone. Whatever it was, it's out the window.
Well, just to be clear, you do not have to apologize to me because I can tell you with certainty I haven't placed a single dollar on any bet that you've suggested.
Well, he did. Who was the one?
You did have 4 in a row at one point, though. So maybe I should. But
who said on the pregame show that Cole had never had a 100-yard game and then he got it today? I thought you said that, Carm. I thought you said
somebody put that in Twitter. I might have said that a couple shows ago. I didn't say it today.
Okay.
I don't remember that coming up.
Well, I was going to give you credit, but forget you.
The Bears Bastard gave me credit. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters. We're going to get to some super chats here, but first, are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, we have some great news for you. Our partner, Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fox Lake, is making room on their lot for incoming 2024 vehicles. You know what that means? You'll be able to shop incredible savings on every new vehicle in stock during their limited time wrap up the year sales event. For a limited time, get up to 15% off on new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokees with dealer discount. That's what I drive. It's a great car. Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories, drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect thanks to Ray's Price Promise. Don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. Just for listening, this is important. You can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. Hurry in. You must book before the end of the month, December 31st, 2023. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram because they're the only team we recommend. Go ahead, stop in there on Route 12 in Fox Lake. Tell them CHGO sent you. Ray and the team will take care of you. And for more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
We're going to get to the real Duke Super Chat coming up in just a second here.
Oh, okay.
But first, it is getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles, and that is something that we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being for all of us who share it, Greg.
That's right. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
It would only take one delivery van to get Luke Getsy in it and get him a long way from here. But what should business owners do if they are looking to take advantage of what ComEd is doing, Greg?
Well, I'll tell you, Mark. Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say after this Bears win to go to ComEd.com/clean?
That's right, I did. Go now and see how electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
All right.
Don't give me that look, Mark. Oh, I think his screen is frozen. I thought he was giving me a look, but
yeah,
I'm here. I can hear you, and I'm definitely frozen for the second. Come back to me.
And you got frozen in the creepiest smile in human history.
I hope it stays
Carm,
like that
jump
for the
out.
rest of the show.
Carm, jump out, come back in. You'll be fine. In the meantime, maybe a little piece of good news here. Sean Hammond reporting from Matt Eberflus's press conference. He said that Cole Kmet's knee injury, quote, looks positive, but the Bears will have to wait and see tomorrow. So a lot of times you know right away if it's really bad. So at least that's a positive thing. Also, shout out to DJ Moore. Seeing a bunch of pictures coming out of the Bears locker room. He is wearing a awesome Santa suit post game. Now, when I say Santa suit, I'm not talking about like the suit that Santa Claus actually wears, like it's a costume. I'm talking about like a suit, like a nice suit you'd wear out, but it's like red and white, like it's dressed up for Santa, and then he's got a Santa hat to go with it. So he's looking very classy here on Christmas Eve.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I like it. Festive.
I'm actually jealous. I like that. So good for DJ Moore. All right. Let's fly through some super chats here. Did Carm say there's a big one from the Duke? Another one?
Oh,
not sure.
I think there was. Wow. 299.99 super chat. Okay. Here's my real super. I'm at my in-laws. I was forced by my Polish Catholic in-laws to eat a piece of wafer. What does it mean if it burned my mouth and tastes like sulfur? Anywho, I love you, CHGO. Your coverage always brightens my day, even when my teams don't. Don't ever change, you goofballs. Love, Duke. Appreciate you, Duke.
Duke, we love you right back. Have no idea what the first half of that super chat was about. I am Catholic. But
well, I think it means he ate a piece of wafer and it burned.
Like communion?
So yeah, that's what I was thinking. So maybe it's because he's, a big time sinner. He hasn't confessed his sins, and maybe that's why the wafer burned, because he's heading south in the eternal life.
Well, hopefully not anytime soon, because we need him here at CHGO. All right, another $5 super chat here. Why do we have such high standards? We've sucked for years. We have the chance to build a good team, then draft or sign a quarterback if needed. Packers 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking why I have high standards, where I said that earlier, I wouldn't call them high standards. I'm just asking for the Bears to win one of the 3 games that they should have won, the 99% chance. And I think that's just, the kids call it copium, but the rationalization when the dust settles that they didn't win those games, but they finished with 7 or 8 wins. And then you sit there and go, well, that's, before the season, you said you would have taken that. Well, then the context of the season takes place. And you have to consider that when it comes to what your standards were. And I did say 7 or more, 8. If they won 7 or more, I'd take it. If they won 8 or more, it's a success. But then when you turn back the clock, or when you look back and look at those 3 losses, I'm sorry, like I said, we asked Cole Kmet this very question. And he even said, no, we're not defined by, almost getting it done. We're defined, by a higher standard of that. And I kind of go along with what Cole said. And so that's fine. If you want to say, okay, incremental progress has happened and you'll take it, that's fine. And you're not going to look at those 3 games with any kind of disappointment. I can understand that, but that's just not where I sit.
I agree. Catching the back half of that. Look, it is progress, but the way they got there is painful. It makes it a very, 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 I would think, tough decision for Ryan Poles, because he's going to be able to point to progress. He's going to be able to point to the team in the right direction, and forget about all of that. To have the confidence that I'm making major changes. I'm bringing in a new quarterback. I'm bringing in a new head coach, or even a minor one. I'm bringing in a new offensive coordinator. I mean, that would be the least one that I think probably would keep you up at night. But any of it, not an easy, big time decisions to be made here. Period. End of story. And if he gets them right, who knows how high up the Bears can go. And if he doesn't, then that's just really going to suck.
Yeah, but I still think at the end of the day, as hard of a decision as it might be, the question at hand is relatively simple. Can I upgrade? Just like he looks at a linebacker or corner. Can I upgrade here while being, by also keeping us in position for long-term success? That's honestly easier to do with the coach because you don't have to worry about accounting against the salary cap. And so I to me, I hope that they've done homework behind the scenes. There was yet another report. It was frankly redundant at this point by Ian Rappaport this morning, but he put out the Jim Harbaugh stuff again that's been reported the last few weeks, and we've talked about it on our show. The fact that he seems to have a standing contract extension sitting there on the table for him in his office in Michigan and has not accepted it yet because they have no NFL clause in there for this year and this year only. And until he signs that extension and officially says he's out on NFL jobs this year, that's going to remain a lingering question. And whether it's Jim Harbaugh or somebody else, if you can upgrade at coach, just like you try to upgrade at a playing position, I think you got to seriously consider it. And look at what you've done with the roster and say, well, these guys are still going to be here. Can the new coach I hire keep us at this level and then make us better? That's really the question at hand.
Yep.
And that's not to say there's not arguments to keep Matt Eberflus at the same time. If you can't upgrade, then fine. Like, keep the culture, keep this defensive progress, go out and find a solution, whether it's offensive coordinator or quarterback, to take the offense to the next, or any position, quite frankly. Same concept. How do you upgrade and just make the whole thing better? That's the question at hand.
Of the things that would keep him up at night, trying to figure out an upgraded head coach, I would think would not be the one that's going to keep him up till 4 a.m. That one, who can I get? Jim Harbaugh? Is Mike Tomlin going to become available? Is Bill freaking Belichick going to become available? Right. That's a little, I mean, what young gun do I like that I think is just super damn ass interesting? And there's no way that he's worse than Matt Eberflus. I would think that would be kind of an easy conversation to be able to have. Quarterback thing's a lot. It's just a lot murkier. And how big of a appetite does Foles have to live in the unknown and try to hit a home run? We'll find out the answer soon enough. But that is he has an opportunity to stamp himself as King Poles, or he has an opportunity for it to go the other way.
Well, the quarterback question is going to be something that drags on well into the offseason. The coaching question's coming quicker, because if you're going to make that move, you're going to have to fire Matt Eberflus sooner rather than later when the season is over.
Well, I mean, basically 2 weeks from tonight.
Right. Well, real quick, to your point, Carm, if this is an offseason where Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick, and Jim Harbaugh are available, you better be in the derby of looking at these guys. You know, it may be a pipe dream, but at the end of the day, if they're available, this is an intriguing destination for any coach. So I would be highly considering those options.
Well, let me ask this question, and we can move off this because we'll be talking about it ad nauseum. And this is the post-game show of an amazing Bears win over the Cardinals. But Hoge, how big do you think last week was in Ryan Poles making a coaching decision? Blowing another game, and then the way he handled it afterwards, which seemed to irk the locker room further. Also, the way that the play calling that he had down the stretch, namely putting Justin Jones in coverage. I mean, how big of an impact do you think that had on Ryan Poles and his ultimate decision that he's going to make?
Yeah, I think it was another game on the bad side of the ledger. Just like the Lions game was a complete collapse that really hurt. And to me, there's too many of those. And which is why, you know, I wasn't going to come on this post-game show tonight, and all these people in the comments saying, like, Hoge sounds like they lost. It's not that at all. It's that this wasn't necessarily an impressive win. Is there anything in this game that had you think the opposite? That 100% Matt Eberflus saved his job tonight?
No.
Literally, is there a single person out there that thinks that?
No.
Like, that's kind of my point, in that I didn't like seeing another fourth quarter turnover, another fourth quarter touchdown given up, and all of a sudden it's a one-possession game to a bad football team, by the way, that you played today in the Arizona Cardinals in your own stadium. That's all it is. Like, so I don't know that we learned anything new here that helps us solve this coaching situation here today, which is all I was getting at off the top of the show.
Well, Mark, did you have an opportunity to listen to Ryan Poles' interview with Jeff Joniak before the game?
I did not hear Poles today.
Well, these were some of the comments that came from it, from Peggy Kaczynski, who does a great job. She said these were a few of the things she put out on Twitter. Ryan Poles tells ESPN 1000 pregame show the team needs to learn to finish, and coaches need to clean up the details. It's a pretty poignant comment. Next thing he says, Poles says on the future of building this team is becoming more clear. And while your record is what it is, they can still look and learn from the close losses. You know, he had another comment about quarterback, but if we're going to stick to the coaching discussion aspect of this, those are direct shots at what the coaches need to do better. And you talk about learning to close, learning from close losses, clean up the details, learn to finish. When you're up 21-0 and you let a team back into it, all right, you finish the game, but like Hoge said, that's not a check. Okay, to me it's an incomplete. You know, you won the game, so you get a passing grade, but it ain't an A plus, it ain't an A minus.
All right. We are going to fly through some super chats here and then close up shop tonight. Real quick, I want to make sure you know Chicago beer since 1988. You know what it is. You love it. It's Goose Island, proud supporter of CHGO. Right now, they got Oktoberfest, the entire family of beer hug options, 312. Full Pocket Pills, which is a great beer. Also, the Blackhawks Pale Ale, which is always in my fridge this time of year during hockey season. Grab Ultra Fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. All right, we're going to go through super chats quickly. Let everyone enjoy the rest of their Christmas Eve.
Yep.
So, Joey, whatever order you want to roll these in is perfectly okay. We will start with Ben Wunderlich here. $20. He says, Mary Bearmas. Good game control from Fields today. It felt like they let him play free. Defense held up when we needed them to. Good, overrated win, and feels good to have a Christmas win. Keep JF1. Draft weapons. Bear down. All right, next up, Mark, $20. Merry Christmas from Jolly Old England to everyone at CHGO. Also, Merry Christmas to all those prowling underneath the seas and on alert status. Also, Merry Christmas to the rest of our armed forces around the world. Peace and joy. Well said, Mark. We definitely echo all of those sentiments, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Big Cram, $20. Merry Chrysler, everyone. Enjoy the dub and the rest of today with all your family. Also, you guys telling me if the Bears use Velus on a blitz, it wouldn't work. I do it in Madden all the time. That's a great point.
It's another guy we got to stop calling for anytime touchdown for.
Yeah, my bad. My bad today. I fell into that trap. I don't think they gave him the ball once. Braggs, you want to take a couple of these?
Yeah, I did that last week. D. Shumack, $10 super chat. Even with the pick, it's a big day from Justin. 260 yards of total offense, 1 sack, 0 fumbles, and 2 touchdowns, despite drops from Mooney, Moore, and the coaches taking it out of his hands on 3rd and 1. He definitely had some very, very good moments. 1 sack, limiting the negative plays. Obviously, the pick is a tough play on what would have been a clean resume to finish the night.
D. Shumack, 27, or I'm sorry, from LONS 6. Yep. Oh, no, we can keep it moving, Joey. LOHS 6, 1999. Herbert got, quote, randomly drug tested by the NFL after the game today. Think Braggs is next. Hey, that's not the Khalil Herbert that we know and love. He
always says I look high. I quit smoking 3 years ago, okay?
Hey, shout out though to Khalil Herbert. He looked different today. Also, he looked healthy. That was interesting.
Man's been working hard, getting himself back on the field. Guy Finley, $20. The drive with the pick was JF being JF. Moments of brilliance followed by lapses for things that should be easy, like knowing what down it is and throwing a fade. Time to move on to the big arm of Caleb Williams. Guy Finley, that is not the Christmas spirit that we need, but you were not the only one with that thought today, Guy Finley.
What a great name, Guy Finley.
Guy Finley.
Mr. X Outlaw, $5. For Greedy Braggs, would you trade with Arizona knowing they're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. for both first-round picks, next year's first and 2026 second?
It's intriguing. It's definitely intriguing. I wouldn't be mad at it if they made that move. I wouldn't be mad at it. That's why I'm telling you, if the Bears can end up with that number 1 pick, you're going to be hard-pressed to show me a scenario that doesn't have intrigue to it. And that's why I almost threw up on the pregame show watching the Panthers game. So, and now next week they play the Jaguars with maybe Trevor Lawrence not being available. So this is going to get interesting to end the year. And I'm of the belief that a number 1 pick would do great things for this organization. So crazy me.
It's an unbelievable thought. That
I know, really groundbreaking.
It's controversial that you think a number 1, but it's sad.
You'd be amazed the
the
mind pretzels Bears fans can twist them in to overthink the obvious.
Angelic Insanity, $5. When are we going to be allowed to enjoy a win? INT was bad, but in a crappy season, I'd like to be happy tonight and not constant doomsday mindset.
But enjoy it. Nobody's telling you not to enjoy it.
I don't know. I don't know what's been.
Well, because we're not, like celebrating it the way another fan might, and that's fine. But you can't expect. None of us are going to come on here.
We're breaking it down. I don't care if this is the Super Bowl and the Bears won. We're still gonna.
Well, that's not true. If the Bears win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be. I'll be flipping the set while we're doing the show. You're going to deal with like a tornado of emotion. And I'm sorry, a game like this just doesn't bring out the tornado of emotion in me, even with a win. And I'm not going to come on here and fake it if I don't feel it. If you're excited for it, enjoy it. Merry Christmas.
I'm with you. The point I'm making is like, if we're doing the Super Bowl postgame right now and they won, but Justin Fields threw a fourth quarter interception, it would still come up on the postgame show. It would be discussed. Just like when the Cubs won Game 7, we talked about Joe Madden's decision-making for a lot of that postgame, didn't we, Carm? I mean, like, it's still how you do these shows. So enjoy the win. You should. Bears win. It's great. We're breaking it down.
Underrated humble brag by Hoge right there that Carman Hoge were doing the Game 7 post-game show on WGN Radio when the Cubs won the World Series while Greg Braggs was in a closet somewhere.
With my mother and my wife and one of my good friends celebrating a great moment.
Don't care. Young Dull, $5. The Bears always get off to a hot start that completely collapsed in the second half. They only scored 6 in the second half. Only 6. The Bears got lucky. I'll tell you one stat, Young Dull, that I did not know today that I probably should have known. But Fields is now tops in the NFL with 6 fourth quarter interceptions. That stat, when they said that today, I was surprised to hear that. So yes, but it did not end well today.
Don Schumacher, $10. Bad play for sure, but he had an incredible game aside from that one play. 1 sack, 0 fumbles, 267 total yards of offense in spite of drops by Mooney and a hobble more.
Yes, I'm giving Justin a very good grade for today.
Next up, let's see here. Professor Fumbledore, $20. Go Bears. Getsy has his limitations, but losing Kmet and DJ Moore playing like a more mortally wounded epic Viking, not Minnesota, who refuses to go down. Can we be legit concerned about skill depth? How was Cody Whitehair?
Yes, we can.
I didn't notice Whitehair, which is probably a good thing. I definitely noticed Lucas Patrick.
He had one really bad moment.
That holding where Lucas and Nate Davis were blocking the same guy. I was just like, what are we doing, guys?
Michael 499. We aren't winning with Fields and with the staff. I've been an avid Fields supporter. He just doesn't see the field well enough. Merry Christmas, CHGO. Merry Christmas, Michael. Hope you have a great night. Thank you, Michael. And the Duke. Oh, we did that one. Book. $5.
The Duke and Book.
Did we do all those? Okay, Griffin Johnson, $50. The Bears win. Flirty Floos does it again. We're going to the Super Bowl. I thought Hoge and Carm were going to jinx the Packers game by wearing green.
Oh, God.
Go Bears.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying, Midtown,
Griffin. Go to Midtown Athletics / tag or hashtag ad / tag. Draft Caleb May. Keep Justin. And keep Justin. One of these days, Griffin, we're going to do a whole show on that idea. I am not against that idea. I am not against it. Just don't think it's likely to happen, but I'm not against it. All right. Luis, $5. Why is it that only Bears fans can make a win seem like a loss? JF1 was behind a decimated O-line with his only playmakers playing hurt and wins.
We're ultra skilled, Luis. Just look at the chat every single day. I mean, seriously, it can go every which way. Every angle is covered, from the good to the bad. We're amazing. It's an amazing fan base. Let's just tip your cap to it.
Easy E134, $5. Our Kyler was the best Kyler today. Dude was a beast. Yes, Kyler Gordon played very, very well. Another encouraging sign. Jaquan Brisker. Shout out to Jaquan Brisker for the wrap up PBU. I'm sure the NFL loved that play because it was as clean as it gets. Safe and broke up the pass.
Yep.
Shows it can be done without having to blowing somebody up. All right. Where are we at? Is that the last one?
I think that's it.
Yeah, we got that one. I did see. Oh, yeah, this one from Mr. Myrtle. Hey, Hoge, is this that learning how to win thing? Man, it sucks. Bring on the new QB and staff. Hope Cole is all good. Yeah, that's it. I guess that's kind of part of the problem. It just didn't seem like this was one of those. I don't know. Chris Piguero, $9.99. We need more weapons. We need more talent, even if it means drafting a quarterback. But not drafting a quarterback would mean even more talent. We just need more talent. I like that.
I like the Piguero angle. Could be its own podcast. I like it.
Jay Harley, $4.99. Let's be real. The Bears only won because the Cardinals had slightly more inept coaching than the Bears in the fourth. Yay for mediocrity. Clean house.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not there, but yeah.
Lowe's $6, $20. This game perfectly illustrated how important Kmet is to the offense. Yeah, as Kmet has great season. I've been wondering, like they have stayed remarkably healthy at tight end, and it's like I didn't want to know what it looked like without him, and unfortunately, I think we found that answer in the second half. Chris adds, need more talent.
Yes, we do.
Yes, yeah.
All right, is that all of them? I know we got one more from my guy Swanky. As I take the controls here. Yeah, he says Santa's in the UK right now. He's getting ready to bring Greg Bragg's Taco Bell gift cards. Love you, Hoge, Carmen, Greg. Merry Christmas. Swanky's a friend, so wanted to make sure we got his in before we leave. Appreciate you, Swanky.
Thank you, Swanky.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
And I believe Carm has something he wants to share too before the show is over.
Oh boy!
You know, when your head hits the pillow tonight, don't here we go, Carm, ever again. I just want to say that the Poppy the puppy, who is now in pillow form, wants to wish everybody.
What did you do to your dog?
The dog is fine, but
you stuffed the dog.
This dog. This picture was taken from the CHGO studio when she was watching the show. And so now we have a pillow of Poppy watching us at all times. And the great Poppy is here to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, say Go Bears. And when I cuddle tonight, it'll be with the pop.
The Duke says Carm killed Poppy.
Rest in peace, Poppy.
Poppy is not dead. Poppy is great. We will have a live Poppy coming soon. But tonight, I bring you her in pillow form. Merry Christmas.
In all seriousness, I'm glad Poppy is still alive, because if you did that after Poppy like actually died, that would be incredibly creepy.
Yeah,
that would be, and maybe I will someday. But Poppy
this is slightly less creepy.
Let's not talk about Poppy dying.
Look at Pizzatola telling you Merry Christmas, Carm. Look at.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Pizzatola. You're my guy, and thank you, Duke, for the 1999 effing disturbing Carm. I would agree, but it's such a soft pillow. I tell you, if you could all feel it, just imagine the softness. Put it right on the belly. Oh, have a great.
I'm gonna go hang out with my family. Are you done now?
I was gonna say, Carm texted me a long time ago saying he needed to get something in for the holiday at the end of the show. Was not expecting that to be it. I thought it'd be something like, guys, we are a family here at CHGO.
Yes.
Greg, I love you. I love your family. Mark, I love you. I love you, your family. I love Poppy.
Yep.
And I want you all to have the happiest of Christmases tonight with your pillows, with your families, with your dogs. And the same thing to all of our awesome CHGO supporters here, even the ones that yell at us in the chat constantly. Merry Christmas to you all, and have a good night.
We all silly like the mayor.